Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program Talk for ISD. My name is Winnie Lam, and I'm the Associate Professor of Engineering Education, and I've been with ISD from the beginning of the program in 2018. So I'll let everybody settle down, and I'll give you the program talk to introduce you to our program. So as the title and the top of the slide can show you, we now reside, our program actually resides in the Academy of Interdisciplinary Studies. What the university has planned for us is really, been a long-term vision. Starting from 2018 when the program started, we first were in part of faculty engineering, and slowly we have migrated to AIS, which means that our reach and our breadth of our study is going to expand beyond just engineering study. So this program is supposed to fit the future innovators and technologists. And why did the program start in the first place? About 5-6 years ago, the university president, then President Wei Shi, observed how the new innovators is not just about knowing something really well, doing something, a particular single thing very well, but he realized that to solve the future problems of our world, like the grand challenges, the SDG challenges posed by United Nations, or the wicked problem, as the designers will call, are all solved by team-based, multidisciplinary group of engineers, designers, and even social scientists. So with that in mind, we have aimed to train a new set of innovators for the next generation, solving the grand challenges of our world. I'll have to mute this, but I encourage you to scan this QR code to see some of the alumni who have graduated from our program, and it's a new video that we made for that. What we define as a new generation of innovators and technologists include a few characteristics. Some of them probably overlap with other programs, for example, having independent thinking, analytical mindset, a global vision to solve problems, and to ideate good ideas with practical solutions. I think what makes IC unique is that we added a few components. For example, the ability to empathize with user, even if you're not the user themselves or you're a very technically minded person. And being able to integrate multidisciplinary knowledge with a very human-centered mindset. So what do we do in our program is trying to champion these three core values. First one being design and system thinking. Design thinking is very, a buzzword around the world right now. It's first kind of promoted by Stanford IDEO Design School. And it's been very popular. And the reason why design thinking is popular is not because it's a particularly deep or difficult concept, but is that what solution created with design thinking process really make an impact in the world. So at IC, we actually train the student to iterate this process over and over again, starting from year one. System thinking. I myself is a system engineer with a technical background. And system thinking is the way to understand the world as systems. We're not standalone. Our body is made of multiple systems. Our society is made up of multiple systems. In order to tackle any problem act effectively, we actually need to understand any problem space as a system view. So we introduced that very early on. Having said that, we still hope each student will have a technical competency. By technical competency, I don't only mean engineering or very high-tech area. Even if you're a designer or a specialist in a certain science subject, we call that a technical competency. And we want to allow the student to tailor their study so that they are actually honing on their skills, knowledge, and background in their choice of technical competency. The last one is entrepreneurial spirit. Today you're here for undergraduate program introduction, but if you look a little bit further, maybe go on the website, IC actually houses a lot of the entrepreneurship master degree in HAUST. So there's a bridge for our UG student eventually to become an entrepreneur, to create their own startup. And a lot of our program, a lot of courses actually build the students' skill set toward it. Today my talk is about integrated systems design for an impact. So just a brief example, I actually came back from Switzerland last week, And at IC, we lead a group of UG and postgraduate students in attending a competition called the Cyberthon. So Cyberthon is a competition run by ETH, a famous engineering university of the world, the top 10, I would say. And they run a competition every year to help design assistive solution for disabled population. So we were very lucky to invite, I don't know if anyone watched the Paralympic, just happened in August. We are very happy to have the pilot from our Hong Kong Paralympic team. She has won a gold medal for us in August in bocce ball event. And with her and our student, we were able to devise very innovative solution with a robotic arm fitted on her wheelchair to tackle activity of daily living. So this is just a very small slice of example of how ISC solution actually goes beyond traditional study, project-based learning. We actually try to aim solutions that can be deployable to the world and make a positive impact. Aside from design thinking and then technical competency and entrepreneurship spirit, our degree program also has the characteristics of doing a lot of teamwork. Starting from year 2, I'll give you examples in a later on slide that students already start working as a team. Imagine you yourself, the student, or your children in the future. After 4 years, 4 years is it's not actually very long time. After 4 years, when they graduate and they go out in the world, the first thing they do, they're not going to work alone. No job in the modern society actually allow you to work alone. So we believe that teamwork and the ability to work with engineers, designers, and anybody else in your product team is very important. So starting from year 2, we already put them in the team of 4 or 5, and they have to accomplish a pretty large-scale project on their own. Another unique feature, I would say, of our program is hands-on prototyping skill, which is very unique to UST, not only UST but Hong Kong. Later on, if you have a chance to visit our lab is like a huge, fun makerspace all the time. There's lots of actions every day. And the way that the student able to ideate and think creatively, it's also with their hands, right? So they need to learn prototyping skill with 3D printing, laser cutting, even as basic as foam and the use of foam, cardboard to help them create ideas for solutions. So our makerspace enabled that. Our design studio is also designed to help our students to learn more prototyping skill. So the next 2 slides are information that you can find on our website. It's more basic about what is taught in our program. Again, very unusual to, I would say, technical programs in the past. We actually instill a lot of design and technology fundamental in year 1 and 2. You can see some of these courses you might imagine finding in design school. You actually can find it here at ISD. From sketching, from digital design, prototyping, etc., and graphic design. And then later on, there's more design courses to be taken as elective. Students can choose, for example, something very hot nowadays, AR, VR, can be learned in the interaction design. We also have, UST also have a great goal and also infrastructure in sustainable design. So eco design is another one. So all these design courses, I would say, quite unique to UST, and they all have integrated components beyond traditional design courses. The next 2 slides show some samples. Again, if you were, let's say, a technical person, you like to work with, you're good at physics and math, but you still have a strong inclination to do design, we'll fit you, will help you supplement that knowledge and skills in year 1 and year 2. So these are some work samples from our year 1 student to learn how to sketch in a more professional manner, and then also create graphic design. So the importance of this, I don't know if it's very obvious. The importance of learning design communication skills is that in any job, in innovation really, you need to be able to effectively communicate your idea and also discuss, right? And the tools that engineering use are maybe mathematics, equations, and whatnot. But in the real world, to be able to do this communication effectively, you really need something visual. So we believe that this is an important step in training the next generation of innovators. Another course that we created recently to introduce students to the overall journey of design thinking is this introduction to ISD. And we walk the students through from end to end of the design thinking journey, from how do you start from a problem space to find the problem, and then when do you actually able to introduce engineering into the solution space and create actually a final prototype of solutions. So you can see there's names along the journey, and it's actually our various faculty coming in to bring in our piece of knowledge in this very integrated systems design process. And you'll see some of the sample work later on in the lab tour as well. I talked about systems thinking briefly, and this is a really nice example. So a few years back, we worked with the Hong Kong Tramway to help them redesign their user experience, right? And that's, when you think of the word user experience, you might think of something very software, like, interaction or just like the look and feel. But because our students are very multidisciplinary, some of them are mechanically inclined, mechanical engineering inclined, some of them are simulation, CS, kind of computer science simulation inclined. So this particular team actually looked at the tram beyond the tram, right? So when the tram is traveling through our city, it's not just about sitting inside, you're also looking outside. The air through the city is also flowing through the tram. So it's not a standalone unit. So what here at IC we like to stress is that nothing in the problem space is standalone. We really need to consider the different stakeholders, the different elements of the overall problem space map. So this particular group went on the news. We got some nice press about how they redesigned the interior of the tram cart so that better ventilation is created. And the same team actually later on, I'll have a picture of them, kept working with Tramway to design AR experience for their passenger. So imagine you're sitting in a tram, you hold up an iPad and you look at the street in Wan Chai and you can see the olden day photos of what that particular storefront looks like in the 1980s, 70s. So enriching the experience. So our collaboration and connection with industry is very strong. Again, I'm just going to build this and let you enjoy a little bit of that video. So another course that is very signature to our program is this pair of digital design and physical prototyping. Again, we start from sketching. Students can only sketch at the beginning. And then we taught them how to use prototyping tools to make hardware. The picture on the right is actually the eventual hardware. But in between them, there's a story to be told. So this is a year 2 project team, and the problem they want to tackle is to help shoppers to have a better experience while doing shopping mall shopping. And they went to observation, they went to field tour in K11, the K11 mall in Hong Kong, and looked at, the mall is huge, it's hard to navigate, and people who shop a lot have to hold a lot of different bags. So they came up with this idea of having a shopping companion. And this slide, I just want to show you that from the idea to the end product that actually works, like it's a functional prototype on the right. In addition to that, they have to do a storytelling. And so all these artifacts, from the sketch, from the video to the eventual hardware prototype, is all done by the team alone, right? The 5 of them. And I think it shows that IC allowed the student to, from end to end, create such complete story. And this is only from year 2. In terms of technical and science fundamental, we do know that I think it's a pros and cons. The student that comes in, as you can imagine, are very diverse. We only take about 25 to 30 students per cohort. So you can imagine there will be people who are like, that did a lot of robotics competition in high school. There are students who are more pure designers, like to sketch, like to design, like to do game design, etc. And then there's also pure scientists, right? So with such a diverse group of students, we do want to level them in the technical knowledge. So with that reason, we introduced several cross-disciplinary technical electives that allow them to learn IoT, mechatronic, and material in a very broad sense. They won't have time to dive very deep, but what if outfit them with is that knowledge and keywords to communicate with the future collaborators. So we also, beyond technical and design, we also encourage students to, as I mentioned earlier, having entrepreneurial mindset. So we have courses fitted for that, and also teaching them a little bit about project and product management early on in undergrad study. So now the next few slides talk about these year-long capstone project that we have. Again, very unique to any university program. Starting from year 2, as I just explained, students are already put into a team and tackle something pretty large scale. So I'll show you a year 2, a year 3, and a year 4 project example. This is from 2 years ago, and the year 2 project theme was green living. So you have 5-6 teams tackling different idea and problem. For example, there's a team that went to look at how to electrify boats for Hong Kong. You know, we have a lot of ferries that carry a lot of passengers in Hong Kong, and we're on the equator. So it's natural to think, you know, green electrical ferry is the next is our future. So there's a team that did that. For this particular team, they looked at, later on when you walk in HUSC, you'll notice some lab and some room have no windows. For example, where we are, right? So we don't have natural light. But yet it's sunny and beautiful outside, last I saw. So how can we possibly bring natural sunlight into an indoor environment like this? Not only to save electricity, our student, one of the students in this team also did the scientific research to prove that natural sunlight, even just piped through optic fibers, is a lot healthier for our body, you know, for mental states, for vitamin D. So there is good kind of support, technical support for why this is a good possibility to bring natural sunlight from, for example, the rooftop here, and just run the optic fiber like you would run electrical wires into an indoor environment like this. So with this in mind, they have did different tests, experiments. These are the small scale, on the top level is a small scale experiment. They build models, they create proof of concept, and at the end, what they created as a proof of concept system is to actually be able to control sunlight. Let's say this particular room, I want like a blue tint of light, and they can add little filter towards it. So it's a multidisciplinary project that allows different students to participate. This example is from year 3, and you can see from year 2 and 3 and 4, later on, the complexity grows. Yeah? So this particular, for example, we're surrounded by water, USC is surrounded by water, so a lot of our project you again see during the lab tour has to do with water. You can see there's a robotic fish model up front in front of LTD. So this particular project was inspired by one of our faculty who loves kayaking around the coast, and he inspired a student to ask, is there a way to do kind of auto steering, right? So that I only have to paddle forward, but your steering can bring me to my destination. So I want to go to Kyujoido or something like that, and then I put that in on my app, and then the kayak will bring me there. So again, very multidisciplinary project. You see some electronic things, you see some mechanical design that allows a rudder to be controlled, and then you even see an app design. Again, I really cannot imagine any other program that allows like a group of single disciplinary students to accomplish this within the undergrad years. Most of these type of projects will be done in the final year project for most other programs. So for that reason, I think like ISD has a unique take on how to bring students into that project-based setting very early on. And then for this is maybe I'll skip this, but this is just to show that we work with industry. So we work with the Hong Kong International Airport to help them improve their tagging system for luggages, as well as a trolley collection. In this picture, we have created a robot for them to collect their trolley autonomously without. Right now, there's people having to drive those trolley collector. For the final year project, we encourage students to either do an entrepreneurship project, like do their own startup product, or work with industry. So Hong Kong, we have a lot of developers in Hong Kong, builders. And for this particular project, we worked with Paul Wai building group. Hong Kong having so many slopes, and it's always kind of challenge to maintain the slope stability. So right now, the product that's commercially available is millions of dollars, and they need to actually go physically and install it, measure, and then take it away. Our students are able to devise, this is also during pandemic, devise a product that's 1/10 of a price and still be able to deliver that information. So this is a final year project. Aside from industry, some final year project group also opt to work with NGOs, for example, for the deaf community, to help them create a solution to alert them if there's any danger incoming. Maybe there's a blaring fire truck coming their way and they could not hear. So in the middle, there's a group like that. And as I mentioned, the tramway group, some of the students actually went beyond the year 2 project that they did and worked with them again to create AR experience for the tram passengers. So here, I want to before I end, I want to summarize some of the key kind of characteristics of students what we're looking for. We're looking for students who are self-motivated, inquisitive. You meet some of those profile people in the front of the booth. All our students are they're very passionate about ISD, and so when you talk to them, you feel it, right? They're very motivated and they want to learn, and they're active learner. Some of them are makers. They grew up liking to tinker with things or mix stuff or break things to see how it works. Passionate about tech and development and just the new directions in like doing something out of the box, doing something new, and be just an eager person to try something different. We have now 3 years of graduates, upcoming to 4. In congregation is happening in December, so we have about 4 years of graduates now. And these are some of the places they end up in. At the moment, I would say still a good quarter, like 25% students choose to do further studies. So some of them pursue master's, PhD, either in Hong Kong or outside Hong Kong. Those are the universities on the top, listed on the top. And then there's the other industry companies that they join as either technology consultant, product engineer, product manager, and the job titles of a large variety. But if you go to the video that I showed earlier, there's 4 good profiles to take example from. So aside from those 4 in the new video, I also want to tell you about this one student as an example. So Alex joined us as a major selection student. So here I want to explain an option. So coming in to our program, there's 2 tracks. There's 2 possible ways. One is you apply directly for year 1. So you will start with us and end with us. The other option is you join any school. You can join School of Science, School of Engineering, even School of Business as a first-year student. And in the second year, for any of these schools, you need to choose a major, right? And you can choose IC as your major, and that's another way to join us. So Alex actually joined us, I think in 2019 as a major selection student, so that's in his second year of study. In high school, he played a lot of robotic competition. At ISD, at UST, he also excelled very well in different areas. He became one of our first technical ninja. I'll tell you a story about that. So we actually designed a program by benchmarking many similar programs around the world. And one of the schools in the US is called Olin College, and they're very famous, OLIN. And we learned this idea of creating ninja, which is like in a sense a technical CZ in the lab. So we have an infrastructure like that allows students to peer teach, peer learn from each other, and that's been very effective, echoing our idea of student being able to be an active self-learner. So now he's like working at an incubator, technology incubator called SparkMates. and he's doing quite well. And there's his fuller story available in Chinese through this QR code if anyone's interested. So again, later on when you see the lab, these are the views, the scenes that you'll see. I think it's a lot cleaner today because our staff and students have helped a lot in cleaning it up. But normally it looks like, more like on the top left, a controlled chaos. So we have a lot of fun toys, gears for prototyping. There's always people because each project team is occupying one project table, and so project is always going on. So that's our ISD Works Makerspace. On the top right, there's a small picture of the design studio, which is also part of the lab tour, and that's where Brian, our teacher in graphic design and sketching, will introduce you to all the fun things that he does with our students and teaching them how to do graphic communication. To deliver such a program, obviously our faculty cannot be single disciplinary, right? So you can see that our background is super diverse. We have traditional technical people. We have people who we have an architect, someone who first degree was an architect. So his now research actually is sustainable design for green buildings. We have material scientists that do food printing, 3D food printing. There was a sample of a cookie outside on our table. So I cannot stress how diverse our IC faculty background is, and the student actually benefit from this. Imagine you think of a project, you think of a solution, but you need a particular expertise in solving it. But solution space is so big that you cannot just have, let's say, a robotics person. That would not be sufficient. You need to have a large breadth of expertise to support such ambition, right? So this is my last slide. So these are some more kind of administrative information. For our JUPAS code is listed, 5711, and these are our evaluation. So the point I want to make here is that unlike other programs in Hong Kong, we do not only look at the JUPAS score or academic result from IB or GC or A level. We actually place heavy consideration, and by heavy I mean a significant consideration towards the second and the third evaluation, which is the design and technology project experience portfolio, and also an interview where you get to come into UST and spend a fun afternoon or fun morning with us. So those two items are actually heavily weighted in our evaluation of you during the admission process. Some of you might, I know JUPAS students are very busy preparing for exam, so we do understand that. And so beyond you submitting a DTP standalone, we also consider your OEA and SLP when we evaluate it as your portfolio. The last thing I want to pitch briefly is that we are actually offering ISC Experience Day in January, 2 possible Saturdays. I would very much encourage any student who have interest in learning more about us or just have a taster lecture or learn what we're doing to come to sign up and come in. It's unfortunately only by selection because limited space. But we'll invite you, hopefully, to come in and enjoy a day with us to get to know us a little bit more, and vice versa. So with that, I'm gonna end, and then I will welcome any question. Again, I can speak Cantonese, Putonghua, and English. So any question in any language, is welcome. Thank you very much. Yeah. Any question? Yeah.
May I know about the weighting for M1 or M2s in your admission score?
So it's actually...
Do you have extra weighting on M1?
No, but it's gonna be the best 2 subject weighting. 最後個欄佢會出現。Any other question? any other question? Or yeah, go ahead. 大家你讲的。
刚才提到了就是进入 IST major 这个途径是通过大二的 major selection， 那就像像商科的人也可以来选择，但是他大一是没有修这些，那就是像大一这些专业可能缺失的，就是会有什么样的影响
？It's a good question. So the question was, what happened? Because I mentioned you can come in second year as a major selection. So the student was asking what happened to all the year one courses that other people who have taken already if they're program based. So we actually have a mechanism to allow the student to play catch up a little bit. So the courses that the person misses is only 3 or 4 courses, right? The foundation courses. So they will just play a little bit of catch up, and it has, we have run this program for 5 years, so our major section students have smoothly followed through and finished the program with us. Yeah. We do encourage also, if you join other school at the beginning, to take one of our courses, right? In the first year, you have space, you have bandwidth to do that. Take some of the courses just to experience it a little bit more, and there's no loss. You always learn something new. And then that will help you save a little bit of time later on. Yeah. 可以吧？ OK. 好。没有听清。学位 OK。学位的他问我的英文名字叫 Bachelor of Science， 所以算是一个理学位的定义吧。But the question was, what if the student will graduate with like bachelor in what? Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Science. So our name of our degree is Bachelor of Science. 这个理学位。But I would argue that nowadays, because our name has integrated systems and design, the implication that it's a technical component. 就是我们的意思是，当你可能毕业之后拿着那个学位去申请工作，其实人家看见你是一个 integrated system 那个名字综合系统，以及是有一个感觉是有更 technical 的东西，有技术有关的事情。In UST actually, Bachelor Engineering is mostly important for those occupation that needs certification， 比如说 civil engineering。或者 mechanical engineering 去建飞机那种，所以 bachelor engineering is particularly important for those that needs future occupational certification like the aeronautic engineer or the civil engineers. But for all the other engineering, I think degree, the name does not matter as much.
I'd like to apply this degree alongside the extended major in artificial intelligence. Is that possible, and how should I apply this?
Yes, it's. I think I might need to defer to our staff to answer this fully, but I thought extended major is applicable to pretty much any degree program at UST. So you can do plus AI. It's available to any program. So you can just, it's a selection on the application form. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, please.
This admission score online is for
Correct. Yes.
I mean, what if it's like international
Yes.
students?
Yes, sorry, I didn't leave it because today I expected a little bit more local student, but yes, we have a lot of IB applicants, A-level applicants, so the calculation is similar, but then it's not as weighted like this. There's no times 2. We have you need physics, you need a science, you need a math, and then your overall score. So a lot of those information can be found on the join.ust.hk for purpose. You choose our program in the drop-down menu and
Let's say the qualification is like qualification is not like IB, and can say have to take international exams and say, well, it is implemented like SAT and whatsoever.
So SAT plus A-level, right? AP, right? Is that what you're? Yeah. Again, we don't publicize a bar, but you just need to fulfill the subject requirement. So you need to have like the one science or one. It doesn't have to be science actually. If you have taken, I don't know, some schools offer DAT like design and tech, DNT. So that can also be replacing the science requirement. So all this information actually is just for general information. Join.usc.hk. If you choose any program, it tells you pretty much all the subject requirement very clearly. Yeah. Yeah.
As I know, there are an intended major of DMCA, which also includes something like design and systems. So may I know, is there any overlapping part between those two courses?
From what I'm aware of, there's no direct overlap because what we teach ISD is really tailored for ISD students so that we help them able to interface with other systems, right? Whereas DCMA, it's more about art and expression. Again, don't quote me. You might need to talk to DCMA people about it. But it's more about artistic expression and more art side than what our technology side of design is. I would distinguish like this. There's no overlap. So we have students that do DCMA plus DCMA, ISD plus DCMA.
So will the design part also taught in these courses?
Sorry, come again. Which
will
design?
the design part also taught in this course? I mean, those elements of design we talk in this ISD course?
Yes, a lot of them. So in year one, we actually have a lot of design fundamental courses that the student have to take. For example, the sketching, graphic communication, etc. So you can see these are the design courses that's unique to ISD students.
Also, I would like to know, can I have a double major in this ISD major when I am having computer science, for example?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, we have, I would say a quarter, 25% to 30% of students are double major students. Yeah.
Thank you.
With different schools, yeah.